so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Dreams Gone Mobile. It's Mr. Sharp, owner and founder of Dreams Gone Mobile, and we're here today with Tito's from Tito's Latin Kitchen, and I wanted to introduce you guys to him so that you guys can learn more about him, and he's going to sit here and talk with us about all the gems that he's going to drop with us in reference to his journey. So Tito, go ahead, I'll let you take the stand, let us know who you are, where you're from, and
well,
all
you
that.
briefly said it. I'm Tito from Tito's Latin Kitchen. I'm originally from New York. Came down here, opened a food truck, and let me not go too much in depth into it, but I appreciate you getting me on this podcast. It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited. So I'm definitely going to be drilling you with a lot of questions, so just bear with me. All right, so Tito, we know that you started a food truck business. What made you want to get into that?
Okay, so I just wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I was looking for one of the gems that I used to work at before, and one of the gems that I had was being in the restaurant industry. So that's one of the things that I grabbed onto. So when I came down here, I had a friend that had a food truck, and he said, "Hey, I need somebody to work with me." He left at that time. He let two people go, and I jumped on it. I had a good job, but I jumped on it because I wanted to see exactly what it was about. So jumped on it, took less pay just to know how to cut certain needs, how the money was coming in, I already know how to treat the customer service, but how he did it, and what times he opened, what days were not good in Tampa, because I'm from New York. Every day is good in New York, so you just got to know, pick and choose what days are great and what days are like kind of average and stuff. So I learned a lot from him, and that's basically what made me take off, just quitting a great job that I had, and got into something that I was going to take less pay, but the vision was for the future, not for that moment.
Period. You started this food truck, finally. You got your own food truck in. How was that experience for you?
It was hard. He made it look easy because he already had everything down. One thing I always say is if you don't have savings, it's going to even make it harder. So just learning I already learned from him how to prep the meats and stuff like that. But little things like this, dealing with the city, with the water, with light, just things that are out of your control, basically. You know that your food is going to be good, but things out of your control is things that I was just like, sales tax. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm backed up in sales tax. So things like that made it difficult. But every time I took that challenge on, it never was just like, I quit. No, I was like, all right, I'll figure it out. Okay, sales tax is this way, the city and this and that, you gotta deal with them that way. At that point, you had to, I don't know if you do know this, I think every month or 3 months you had to write a letter to keep your food truck open, basically,
right,
and stuff like that. So paperwork stuff was the one that got me, a little bit like lost.
The legal side.
The legal side was the same, so I had to catch up on that. The food wasn't, so yeah. It's difficult.
When did you start your food truck business?
I want to say 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was COVID. The January 1st, I remember my wife's in the background, but it was insane because they had shut down restaurants at that moment. And I had the food truck ready to go. And I'm like, babe, this is a wrap. Like, they're going to shut us down. So during COVID is when I started.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy. That was insane. That's another story for another day. But it was crazy starting there because, you just want to tear up and be like, yo, is the city going to shut me down? But the mayor made it drive through where you technically could stay open.
You're still essential.
And that's what helped me out. But yeah, it was scary.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
COVID years, that's when I started.
Yeah. So actually, like you said, like I already been doing licensing for years. So back then, they actually do require you every 3 months in the city of Tampa to renew that vendor application. They don't do that anymore. They actually removed that requirement. So that's people who are out here in Tampa, they don't need that.
That is dope. But it's so important to know people like her. Like, I know, and this is being honest, it's like because I'm a chef, right? I know everything about the food. I know everything to do in the kitchen and how to treat customers and stuff like that. But if you don't have somebody in the background doing all the paperwork and doing all the stuff that you probably don't have time to do is going to make it a lot difficult for. So knowing people like her is going to help you out a lot. Money's not, it doesn't matter how much is it. It's very important to have somebody like her that knows people in the city and just knows a little bit of everything. So that's very important, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Tito, we know you have a brick and mortar, obviously, because we're in here now. How long did it take before you converted from a food truck to a brick and mortar?
Yeah, it's crazy. A year and a half, and that's because it was rushed. I was next to a Chinese restaurant that had just shut down. The landlord came to me and he was like, "Hey, if you don't take it, he was gonna give it to somebody else." And I'm like, I went in there, horrible. I mean, it was bad condition. But in my mind, I'm like, he's gonna put somebody in there that probably compete or whatever. And this, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna take it. So a year and a half was the mark, which is too soon, too soon. And I just say that because brick and mortar is just a different animal. But I took that on too as well. I was like, you know what? Let's go in there. So there'll be days where he gave me the keys. He gave me 6 to 8 months. With some landlords won't do that. He gave me 6 to 8 months to remodel and everything. So I'll be in the food truck, cooking and stuff like that, and then just doing little things, running in, doing little things, sweeping, mopping, or just throwing things out, etc. like that. So a year and a half. That's what it took me to get into a restaurant. But I don't recommend that. It was just, I was like, you know what? I could go right here where there's no address change, basically.
Right.
Address stood the same. So the customers would know I would have still been there. So that's the only reason why I did the transition so fast.
Okay. And how was the transition for you when you opened up your brick and mortar? How long? I know you had mentioned before when we talked that you sold your food truck.
Mm-hmm.
How long was it before you sold your food truck and then completely got into the brick and mortar scene?
So a year and a half. Now, that year and a half, when I was cleaning up and stuff, somebody had came. So I want to say 2 months later, after that year and a half, that's when the food truck was sold and I went completely in. And then that's brick and mortar, your grand opening, etc. And just went 2 feet in and stuff, like 4 feet because my wife. So,
right.
Yeah.
No, well, 6 because,
Yeah.
kids.
For sure. So yeah, and I want to say I was cleaning up and doing stuff like that and moving, and savings is very, very important. That's another thing. But saving away for just the ceiling tiles, the floors, the hood, the fryers, etc., etc. So yeah, like 2 or 3 months after, that's when I officially was like, all right, food truck's gone, let's go.
Okay. You have 2 brick and mortars now. How does that feel for you?
It feels good, but it's scary.
Yeah.
And it's always scary. It's like I always tell everybody, anybody asking me about entrepreneurship or owning restaurants, I'm broke every Monday. What you mean by that? Sunday ends, you had a great week, but you start over Monday. And if you cocky because you just did great numbers last week, then you probably too big-headed to see you always got to be ahead of the game.
Right.
You can have a slow day, a slow week. And what I'm saying, I start over Monday because I put so many things in savings to make sure the next week is covered already.
Right.
Like labor, like rent, like so every Monday I'm broke. That's the mindset I keep going. So it's scary. It's scary, but that's a good thing. You have to be scared in this. If you're not scared and you relax and stuff like that, I haven't met an owner that's relaxed and chill, to be honest with you. Everybody that I've known, I haven't seen somebody that's like, I'm good. No, everybody's always up on their toes and making sure that people are coming into the establishment.
Okay.
But it's scary. It's scary.
If you don't mind me asking, was the investment obviously different from the food truck versus the brick and mortar scene?
Oh, very different. Yeah. Very food trucks it's easy. I mean, it's easy to buy the food truck and the equipment inside and stuff like that. When you're investing into a brick and mortar, you gotta rent, light, water, AC unit, the plumbing. I mean, all these things. I mean, the plumbing in the food truck is probably 5-6 feet. I mean, you're not messing with much. This is a whole thing. If something's messed up out there, then it's in your responsibility to fix that. And it could be thousands of dollars, AC thousands of dollars. So you can't just, brick and mortar is so different when it comes to brick and mortar. Food truck is so easy. The only thing is with that is you gotta find a location, or a great location, or you gotta hit these good events. So yeah, it's a lot different. The investment is different. They both.
So you mentioned locations, the food truck thing. When you had your food truck and you were at a location, how was that for you?
For me, man, it was great, to be honest, because I was in a Hispanic community and they took on real fast and easy. But like what I tell people is you gotta shake hands and kiss babies around the community. So if you just post up there, right, and you think you're gonna sell food and you're gonna be successful, then I'm sorry, you're totally mistaken. I remember I walked and I was in Armenia. I walked all the way to North Florida, made a left, walk up and down North Florida, passing, sweating out. I even made a video on it, passing out flyers and telling them this is my Instagram, this is my Facebook, etc., etc. You gotta be on the go. You can't just go sit down and think somebody's gonna come to you because either your music's loud or you have all the lights flashing and stuff. That doesn't mean nothing. If you don't know your community, then they're not gonna latch on to you. So it's very important to do those things in order to pick up any type of business. I mean, that's me.
Yeah.
Shake hands and kiss babies. That's how I call it. The presidents do that. We got to do that too when you have a business.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, you're definitely known for your videos. Because back then, before I met you in person, I used to follow you. Well, I still do, obviously. But I remember following you. And I'm like, dang, this guy be dancing in his food truck.
Yeah.
He be loud in his food truck. He's so Puerto Rican.
Because you got to have fun. You got to have fun in what you do. You don't, like, I love what I do. So this is not a job for me. So if you're getting a food truck because you see dollar bill signs, then you're going to feel so bad. You're going to fall flat in your face. If you love what you do, then that's why you're going to walk the extra mile to get that flyer to that extra dealership. You're going to, do extra things to make sure your business is successful. So for me, that's very important. You got to love what you do. And I see you love what you do. And I've seen your movement. And for me, I love what you're doing for the food truck community. Is dope what you're doing. So
yeah, definitely a goal of mine to expand. I want to go to other cities for sure because that's the biggest thing. Is like you mentioned, like the whole finding a location. It's a struggle.
And what you're trying to do is very smart. You're helping, and some food trucks don't see it probably like that, but you're helping the food truck community. I mean, people don't understand how hard is it to find a location and to make it pop. And for you trying to create something for 5, 6, 10 food trucks and you're gonna help it make it pop, you guys don't understand. When you have an extra person trying to push your business up, that's a huge lift. Because for me, I did it on my own and it's extremely hard, the wife. But having that extra person, having that food truck part and trying to push your business and sharing your stuff, I mean you gotta, know that's a lie. Some people don't. Some people just be like, oh well, whatever. It doesn't matter. Nah, man. And you got to give it time. A lot of people think any location, damn, I don't pop in a month, I'm out. In a month, it takes 3 to 6 months to know if it's good or not, and sometimes even longer. Because at the end of the day, she's gonna spend money on location. You're gonna spend money on your truck. So you got to recoup some of that money in order to be able to market, in order to to get the word out and stuff like that. So just, and like I said, the first timers don't know what you do behind the scenes and what some other people do behind the scenes, but it's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
And imagining you with 2 brick and mortars, you're basically all over the place.
All over. Yeah.
Tell me about that process of running the actual brick and mortars. So we talked about the investment, the running things and being the boss and having to hire people, having to make sure you have the inventory. Tell me more about that.
Hiring, firing sucks. I don't like firing. I always try to give, if anything, 10 chances if I had the chance, but you can't. Hiring and firing is horrible. Hopefully you can have the same team for the years and years, but it's not that high turnover in the restaurants.
Okay.
The investment, you gotta always, like I said, start over Monday. So you gotta make sure you have the money to buy the investment for this week, not last week. So it's just a lot with that situation. And I don't have a chef. What do you mean, Tito? You got 2 restaurants and you don't have a chef? I do everything. So 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm shopping at Gordon's, San Juan, all these things. Go to the first location with the wife whenever she can, and we literally doing tajo con mandula. We cutting the meat and we prepping it, everything. So every meat that's eaten in the establishment or every rice that's eaten out beans is literally coming from me. Nobody else is touching my food. I had a chef before, and it was just, when you have a chef, they want to do things their way. And some people may see the video like, damn, you gotta let it go. You gotta have recipes there and just let them do it. It doesn't go that way. I have recipes. And chefs don't want to listen sometimes. Some chefs want to do their own thing. So you can have a recipe book right there, big, with bold letters, and they still want to add their touch and be like, yo, T, you do this. No, I'm winning this way. Why would I change?
Right.
So, but yeah, that's the hard part, going back and forth. So today, example, 6 o'clock in the morning over there, prepping, etc. Now I'm here working a full-time shift to 8 p.m. So 6 to 8, how much is that? How many hours is that? But again, I don't mind it because I love it. And I know eventually, once this takes off, I'm gonna have time to have somebody here part-time and come in at 3 and I'll leave at 3, etc. But right now, you know, it's on me to make sure that this place is up and running. So
Well, I definitely give you and wifey the props because y'all are doing the damn thing, especially when you have 2 locations. I mean,
hard.
1 alone is already a lot, so having 2, I can only imagine.
No, it's hard, and you know, it's because she has a job. My wife is a real MVP because whatever she does, whatever time she has, she's cutting meat, she's doing a mix or something for that kung and stuff like that. It's hard, but again, if you love it, you go to sleep with a smile on your face, even though you're tired and you know you worn out, etc. I'm just like, I love what I do. Nobody's telling me what to do. 1, and 2, I'm making the money I said you probably would have never made on a 9 to 5 and stuff like that. So for me, it's pleasing for me. I love it. So that's why it's not a big deal for me.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned that you had a chef before. How come that didn't work out for you?
Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty.